Hi, this is your host, Bharti, and we are here at Open Infrastructure Summit in Denver, Colorado. And today we have with us Matthew Johns from SUSE. Your role at SUSE is product marketing of public cloud and OpenStack, which is private cloud.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So we are here at this summit. They have changed the name also, which also reflect on a lot of things that the community is doing now.
Yes, very much.
And I think for this event, one of the biggest, the talking point is Airship.
Yes.
So, and I am sure that SUSE is also involved with the project.
Yes, absolutely.
So before we kind of get into how SUSE is involved, tell us a bit about what is Airship, what problem it's trying to solve.
So with Airship, what we're trying to solve with Airship is just enabling an easy deployment of containerized applications. In our case, it's OpenStack specifically. You know, people have been talking about containerizing OpenStack for a while because they want to make it more agile, so faster to deploy, but also easier to isolate the individual projects so that if you're upgrading them or needing to manage them or build in HA, that can all be done a lot more easily through the containers as opposed to doing it on bare metal or through VMs as well. So it's a really exciting time for us.
Why do we need to containerize OpenStack?
Why not? Everything's got to be containerized these days, but it's just for speed, it's for convenience, it's for security, high availability. All of these things suddenly become so much easier when you've containerized and each individual project sits in its own container and it can do its own thing without affecting others. So it's a lot more speed for deployment, and then upgrades just so much easier when you're just doing individual containers at a time.
Right. And OpenStack has been around for a very long time. It has also evolved as a project, as a community.
Yes.
So can you also, because you're somebody who goes out and deals with the clients or customers who are actually using it, You're not just a coder sitting in a room coding it without caring about what is going on there. So how do you see this evolution in terms of, how people are using it?
I think OpenStack is something that's gone through many evolutions during its life cycle. It started off as this new cool sexy toy back in 2010, and now it's suddenly becoming less cool, it's less sexy, it's becoming production ready. And we're seeing people are moving from using it for sandboxes, for test and development. They're actually putting all their business critical applications on there. People from automotive companies, major technology firms, people like AT&T, for example, were talking this morning about they're using OpenStack to run some of their 5G stuff. So it's become mainstream. It's turned into your dad, if you like. It's no longer the cool teenager wearing the leather jacket and the slick back hair. It's the dad with comfy trousers and a pair of slippers.
Right. When did SUSE got involved with the project itself? Because you are using, not using, but you are offering, Airship, but you're also involved with the project. That's what SUSE does.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when did you get involved and why?
We've been involved in the Airship project for quite a while now. I think it was sometime last year, maybe a little bit before that we actually started getting involved. But because we saw the potential in it, and we thought, this is something that we can get a lot of value for and give to our customers. But also, by doing that, we can then contribute back upstream as well and make sure that as we're making changes to it, those changes are being pushed back upstream for other people to take advantage of. And it's that whole open collaboration that we've been doing to break down borders between different companies. So we work with AT&T, with Intel, with everyone that's involved in it, and it's a really exciting thing to be part of. Yeah.
What kind of community are you seeing being built around the project?
So I think what we're doing with Airship for the whole containerization is something that a lot of other people are looking at as well. I know that some of our competitors in the marketplace are doing the same sort of thing. It's really just making that whole deployment easier, and then the shift to containers becomes a lot simpler for everybody.
Are you commercializing Airship as a product, or you're using it for other SUSE services?
So what we're doing with Airship is we're using it as a deployment engine, if you like, for the next iteration of the SUSE OpenStack Cloud. So version 10 is going to be released in 2020, and in fact we've got a tech preview available within the next couple of months, and we're doing a demo at the booth as well this week to show how we're using it. And it's all about making that containerized experience a lot easier for people, and then giving them the ability to deploy quickly.
So when is the next release of SUSE OpenStack Cloud coming out?
So version 10 is going to be released in 2020, and that's the one where we have the tech preview that's going to be made available within the next couple of months. That'll be fully containerized. And it'll be based on OpenStack Train and have lots more cool bits built into it. So the aim is to use SLES 15 on that one. With Cloud 9 that was just released this month, we built that based on Rocky and SLES 12 Service Pack 4. So what we're now doing is bringing everything up to the next iteration of everything.
So what is the latency between the latest release of OpenStack versus what you offer, and how? Because there was a report, I think, a few months ago that 70% of OpenStack users are still running very old unsupported versions.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you recognize that as a problem?
I think upgrading's something that everyone puts off as long as they can. No one ever wants to upgrade unless we're talking about new cell phones. OpenStack particularly, because it's such an important part of a company's business. They're basing their entire business critical systems on that. So they don't want to be upgrading it every 6 months. With SUSE, what we tend to do is we skip releases. So version 9 is based on Rocky, version 10 will be based on Train. Because again, we don't want to be trying to be bleeding edge, because really enterprises don't want bleeding edge. Enterprises need something that's strong and stable, unlike the UK government.
Right. But when I look at SUSE, you started as a Linux company, but now you guys are doing so many different things, and that's an evolution. If you don't do that, it's hard to survive and sustain. And the way SUSE is growing, you are almost independent once again.
Absolutely.
At the same time, when a lot of companies are losing their independence, so that's an interesting evolution of SUSE itself. But if you look at your product portfolio, you offer so many things. So if somebody goes to your booth here. What are you guys? You're talking about Kubernetes, you're talking OpenStack, you're talking about SLE, obviously.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
So what else is there on the booth that somebody goes there?
So we're showing a large proportion of our portfolio on the booth. I mean, at SUSE, what we believe in doing is making open source easier for people. And this week we're talking about taking the stress away from software-defined infrastructure, because software-defined infrastructure is important, but it's also really hard. And trying to do it yourself while your IT team is, trying to keep the lights on as well is really quite difficult. And a lot of people basically don't move to SDI because they're too worried about that, so they put it off. We're showing off Kubernetes running with OpenStack and Ceph for storage as well. And we've even got our Cloud Foundry product in there, the cloud application platform. So we're really trying to just give people a flavor of how easy it can be to deploy, and also showing some of the containerized OpenStack that we'll be releasing to the world next year as well. So lots of things to see on the booth, and lots of nice little prizes to give away as well.
So this is the first day of the summit, but what has been, I mean, it's still, fresh, like bring the fresh coffee and you just took a first sip. So what has been your experience so far?
The experience of the Open Infrastructure Summit is the same as it always is. It's great to see old friends, to make new friends, to see people from different companies working together. We're co-presenting from SUSE alongside people from AT&T. We've got a co-presentation with Red Hat tomorrow. It's that whole open collaboration, breaking down borders, and that's just always gives me goosebumps when I think about it. It really does, the way that we're working together and actively collaborating, even though some of us are competing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how open source work. The marketing sales team compete, but the developers, the engineers, they collaborate.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. So Matthew, once again, thanks for talking to us today. We just saw you a week ago at SUSE Call.
Absolutely.
So, and it was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks, Swapnil. Always a pleasure. Good to see you. Thank you.